Hey guys, so today I want kind of to start a discussion more than inform you guys of stuff, and that's because I've been thinking a lot about the classical music community and how isolated we are. I recently have had to explain what I do to people quite frequently, and it always makes me feel so other when I'm being told that it's so cool and so different what I do. And yes, not a lot of people meet contemporary specialists on a daily basis, but a lot of them have probably met more classical musicians than they think. It's just we don't really invite other people into our worlds. A lot of musicians don't really have a lot of non-musician friends, and if they do, they are old friends that were met before they were musicians. And in terms of musician couples, if you look at the people who your friends are dating and who your friends are married to, chances are a lot of them are musicians. So we don't really give the outside world the opportunity to see us as humans. They see us as professionals and as performers, but they don't really see us as the people that we are. And within that, classical music is kind of seen as this elitist, isolated, you have to be in the know to go see it. And that makes it harder. And that's especially true with contemporary music because it's seen as this other that you have to have so much information about before you even hear it to be able to understand it and enjoy it. And I don't think that's true. I think there are some things that are very, very hard to understand if you don't understand what's going on, but that's true with any music. We just haven't taken the time to educate the audience. People grow up with Baroque music, people grow up with pop music, and so they have been immersed in that world for long enough that teaching and that information is ingrained in them already. With classical music, if you didn't grow up with it, you have to start somewhere. You have to have someone give you an idea. It's the same as anyone hearing any kind of new music for the first time. You don't completely understand it, but if you're given the time and the exposure to it, you can decide whether you like it or not. And making people like all forms of classical music isn't the goal. It's never gonna happen either. But getting them more immersed in it and making it less of this thing that you have to dress up and make a whole night to go see is something that I'm really, really interested in seeing more of. What I really love is when performers explain their music in the concert. They talk about why they picked the piece, what meaning it has, a little bit of background, and give their audience a glimpse into what they're about to hear. And in the video where I talk about introducing pieces, I do say I don't want to hear every single thing about it. I do want there to be some mystery and some excitement. But especially when you have an audience who hasn't heard a lot of this music before, give them a fighting chance to get what's going on. Program notes are an incredible resource that a lot of people, yes, don't really want to have to write, but they're important and they're helpful and they give people a chance to go, oh, okay, this piece is based on this artwork that I know. Metamorphose by Sean William Calhoun is a great example of that just because it's been in the background of basically all my videos for the past 2 years. So when I play that piece, people can link into the actual artwork and they can kind of get an idea of what he was doing. And it doesn't have to be connected to art in any way. It doesn't have to have a story or anything like that, but giving them an idea of what they're hearing. Honestly, for me, playing Cassandra's Dream Song regularly means that I have to explain things to people because that piece is very, very alienating. But the point is that it is meant to alienate. You're glimpsing an argument. That's not a comfortable situation. So giving them a few minutes to realize that this is supposed to be uncomfortable and that's part of the point means that they suddenly understand the piece a little bit more, and what could be a very esoteric, very scary performance turns into something that is actually really exciting and they can accept the music. And honestly, the gatekeeping that we do in the classical world to keep people out who don't know what's going on is not going to help us in any way. There are so many unwritten, unspoken rules in classical music performance and concerts that, quite honestly, we need to throw out. The clapping between movements is something that has annoyed me in the past, and there are certain times where I really don't want it to happen. Like the end of a very, very quiet movement that goes a taka into a third movement, I don't want to hear you clap. But I also can appreciate that if someone did something incredibly well and it doesn't ruin the musical line, go ahead and freaking clap. That's good. It means that you enjoyed it. It means that someone actually liked what you were doing, and we kind of need to break the idea that classical music concerts have to be stodgy, no one talks, no one smiles, no one enjoys themselves concerts. And I'm not saying that you should be loud or intrusive or have plastic wrapped candies in the performance, but enjoying yourself shouldn't be a bad thing. I also kind of want to talk about the gatekeeping that we do within our communities. We have a tendency to create opportunities for our friends and for the people that we know. And that's great, and that's why you build connections, and that's why you go to music school, and why you network and do all these things. But there's also a side where we need to bring other people into our communities, or else our communities will die. That's the same as having children. Your family lines and your groups will not survive if there are no younger people and there's no new people being created or being brought in. So being isolated and being stuck in your own group isn't always the best thing. It can be hard to branch out. It can be hard to find ways to branch out. But things like calls for scores or open curation concerts and things like that are so, so important and so cool to see. And yes, I know that I'm the crazy person who's been doing this for 2 years and has played more new compositions than probably most people do in their lives in 2 years. But that's because I'm so passionate about being inclusive and being aware of the fact that this is a global community now. We have the internet, we have this kind of space to share and to collaborate, and we need to be more aware of that. And people of my generation who are coming up in the world and are starting to figure out what they want to do need to be more aware of the fact that the internet is a valid creation space, and it's something that can be really, really exciting. And I'm incredibly biased, obviously, but why should we not be including people from all over the world in our projects, and including people who don't necessarily have access to the resources that maybe I have or that someone else would have? That's part of being in this amazing collaborative community, is that we get to share with each other. And if we're being exclusionary and we're being super close-minded and only interested in our own communities, we're never going to be able to grow. One of the incredible things that I see in pop music and in more popular genres is the collaboration. You have groups going on tour together, and you have things like massive music festivals, which granted are curated and programmed by the organizations, but you still have tens, if not hundreds, of ensembles and groups playing together and playing in the same venue and coming together to create musical experiences. And that's something that I think we need to do a little bit more of. One, to allow our audiences a little bit more of a genuine connection with us and not create this wall between the performer and the audience, but also because that way we're interacting with each other, and you can create and find more opportunities by meeting other musicians who are doing things similar but different. So yeah, I really want to know what you guys think about this and what you think about gatekeeping and kind of the exclusionary isolation that classical music has created over the past few hundred years. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot, obviously, and it's something that I think needs to be addressed. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that it even needs to change? I'm really interested in this subject and what other people have to say, so leave comments, send me messages, yell at me, do whatever you want. I want to hear what you have to say. If you like this video, give it a like. If you're new here, subscribe. If you want to support me more, check out my Patreon, and I'll see you guys on Thursday.